Battmannister-cast. Welcome to the Battmannister-podcast, where we're already screwing things up. Hello, I'm your host, Matt, or Battmannister, whichever one you want to call me. Today we have B. Say hello, B.
Yo.
We have
It's me, B.
Swamp Steven.
Howdy, partner.
And Older Jake, the one that's not related to me.
What up?
All right, today we're going to be... Shut up. Today we're going to be discussing the best film ever made, a film that's near and dear to my heart, one of my favorite films of all time, just a classic masterpiece of cinema, Rubber, a movie about a killer tire named Robert. Yes, it has a name. You guys didn't watch far enough into the movie to find his name, did you?
Okay.
Yeah, his name is Robert. Okay, so we're gonna start off with B's opinion on this movie, and see if she loved it or hated it. And I could probably guess which one.
Yeah, of course. I love. Well, so. That was definitely a movie that was seen by myself.
Like I said, feel free to talk crap about it. It's okay. It's not gonna hurt my feelings.
I definitely watched the entirety of it. I can't say that about a lot of movies. But if I watched all 140 minutes of it, and I didn't find out that the tire had a fucking name, then I don't know if I really got the gist of the movie. It was... I had a favorite character, I think.
Was it old man Brett Favre in the wheelchair?
He was my second favorite. I liked the naked woman. Because I like women and when they're naked.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
We'll discuss that in a little while, too. That seems one of the discussion points I have for everybody.
Nice.
Oh boy.
Okay. Anything else you want to say about it?
No?
No? Okay. Next one is Other Jake, the Jake that's not related to me.
That we're not sure of yet.
We're pretty sure you're not
okay.
related to me.
We don't know.
Well, that would make the nights we have together really weird if we were.
Oh,
Ooh.
no.
Oh, like Star Wars?
Yes. Older Jake is my Princess Leia.
Heck yeah.
But getting back to the movie.
So, what I think about this movie, what can I say that hasn't already been said about the Game of Thrones finale?
Oh, okay. I said you can shit on this movie if you want to, but not that much. Come on now.
Okay, so it is a movie. It was filmed with a camera. There are actors in this movie, that I'm sure of. And it was written by a guy named Quentin Dupieux. This is his fourth film, as shocking as that might be.
It's Dupois.
Dupieux.
Dupois.
I'm pretty sure.
So
It's French.
The only question I have for you, Matt, is why did you make us watch this? My best guess is no reason.
Excellent. All right. So next up, we have Swamp Steve and his opinion on this movie. He is a well-known watcher of very random, disturbing, weird, and just disgusting, fun films.
Yee. So complicated is how I feel about this film, where it comes across to me like a dungeon master that wants to torture his party is kind of the vibe I caught from this film. It's obviously incredibly self-aware, but the way that I put it in my head was this seems like a second or third year film student's attempt at making a high concept film. Where it's like, here's the veneer of stupid, of like ankle deep nihilism. But then it does this whole, like, obviously it is just dripping in meta. And it's one thing to be like, aha, the film is commentating on the audience. But then it does so, like, almost mean. And that, like, kind of sullied it a little bit for me, where it's like, haha, you're an idiot if you watch this. It's how I kind of felt like this, and I was like, well, that's not nice. So, yeah, mixed. Mixed is where I'm sitting at. It was kind of fun. I liked what it was going for rather than what it is. How about that?
Okay. I guess it's my turn. I love this movie. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. It is one of the biggest dumpster fires of a film that is meant... somebody purposely took this story. Like, think of it as a big, giant trash bin. And they said, this will be funny, and I hope people hate this. I'm going to take this Molotov cocktail and throw it into this trash can and watch it burn. And laugh the entire time.
Yeah, accurate.
And that trash bin is filled with tires.
Yes. I love the fact that this movie is so stupid, but on purpose. Not like Sharknado stupid on purpose, where they're like, they made the first Sharknado, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, these are dumb on purpose. No, this was an homage to shitty movies, but done really well, and I love the fact that it tries to be so deep, knowing that it's not actually being deep. Like, the music during parts of it is just incredibly out of place, but works so well for the stuff that it's doing.
Yeah.
And
I did really like that part where I think he killed the rabbit and then was really happy and like going back and forth.
Yeah, and the tire itself, the movement of the tire, the weird little things it would do, like when it's at the beginning of the movie when it's like trying to roll over the bottle, and it rolls over the water bottle first. Yeah, it rolls over the water bottle first, crushes it, and it's like, I have all this power. Then it goes for a glass bottle, and it's like, well, I can't crush this. Somebody used psychokinetic powers to destroy this bottle. Not telepathic. To be very clear, psychokinetic. Yeah, I love everything about this movie. I wish there was a sequel to it, and I wish it was even worse.
It kind of felt like there was going to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
I kept saying when I was watching it, like, this is definitely leading up to a second part.
Yeah, like, could absolutely be like Night of the Living Dead, but with tires.
Yes.
As a sequel.
Yes. See, I would have loved for this to had a sequel. There's another movie we're going to do, maybe next or in a couple podcasts. We're going to do 2 movies for one podcast. I hope you guys are ready for Thanksgiving.
Oh, God.
Thanksgiving 1 and Thanksgiving 3.
That's fitting for...
Okay, but not 2.
You'll find out why. I'm not going to tell you until we watch those movies, but that might be the next one for Thanksgiving.
What is it, like an Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2 type scenario?
No, I can't tell you any more about it. We'll
okay.
Just trust me, it's going to be fun. It's going to be more fun than this movie was, but it's also going to be more torture than this movie was at the same time.
Fun isn't the word I would...
No, fun is the word you'll use for the movies we're going to do next. This movie, I found fun.
This movie, I feel like you should get an award for making it through to the credits.
Mm-hmm. You know how, like, when you're playing Minecraft and you cut down a tree and it's like, getting wood, achievement. I feel like that happened to me when I got through the movie, but in real life.
It's like, yes, now I can add this to the roster of films.
Now you can say that you've seen the masterpiece that is Rubber.
Now
and you can
when
hold that over people.
like when I find my arch nemesis, I can say, you know what movie you should watch, arch nemesis.
I also want to point out that this is not the worst movie I'm going to make you guys watch.
Oh, don't say that.
This is not even close to the worst shit I'm going to make you guys watch for this podcast.
But I feel like they should show this to people who are housed at Guantanamo. Like,
okay, so let's start from the beginning of my list of stuff to talk about. What did you think about the beginning of the cars and chairs? Did that give you any insight into what you were going to be watching for the rest of this movie?
Again, like, just restating what I said, like, clearly he hops out, and it's like, there's no meaning, and obviously, to me, the chairs in the car was like, there's no meaning. But it's this, like, middle schooler's understanding of nihilism.
But I think that was the point. I think that's the entire point, is to be as sophomorecally stupid as possible with what they're doing. At least to me, that's what it felt like.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that then, because, man, I'll be honest, I was a little bit triggered when he started naming off things where it's like, why does Adrian Brody live like a bum in The Pianist? No reason. And I'm like, there's clearly a reason!
My favorite
because
part about
Warsaw
that...
got annihilated!
My favorite part about that is when he says... he brings up the JFK thing and he's like, why did some guy shoot JFK in the head? No reason.
Yeah.
In the context of it being in a movie, it's like, well, what?
Yeah.
It's great. The guy that plays the cop in that is just wonderful.
I was like, where do they find, like, great value Eric Roberts?
Yes, that's what I was thinking, the same thing. He's oh man, I loved it.
That chair scene, I think I wrote down David Lynch ? Like, is he trying to do like a weird David Lynch type thing? But
I think a lot of it was probably inspired by David Lynch and the stuff that he did. I think it was inspired by a lot of weird art house style films, but like an homage and a parody at the same time.
It was like a comedy of those kind of films.
Kind of, but like, let's see if I can word this correctly. Like, it definitely has an homage to a lot of different style of film. But it also parodies it. I can't even talk correctly. It parodies it in a lot of ways too, which I think is why I like it so much, because it makes fun of the fact that like somebody like David Lynch would have a weird scene in their shit. Although I love David Lynch and I think he's great.
Yeah, a lot of things didn't make sense in this movie. They just did not add up at all.
Sure they did. There was no reason. There was no reason. That's everything.
But you can't just say, oh, hey, we're going to preface this by saying there's no reason for any of this, and then I watch it and go, oh, okay, I'm just going to accept what happened.
Well, yeah, that's how movies work. It's a suspension of disbelief. You go into a movie, you know Transformers aren't real, but you still enjoy them. Well, probably not Transformers.
Yeah, bad example.
You go watch a movie, plenty of shit doesn't have to make sense, and you just accept it because it's a movie. A lot of what this movie did, at least in my opinion, was we're going to do stuff that makes no sense, and there's no way to accept what happened in this movie as something plausible or it just could exist ever in anything. And they do it anyway.
The guy knew there was poison in the food. Why the fuck did he eat it? He can't be that forgetful.
God, the turkey was vile.
Okay, let's not go too far into the movie. But okay, B, do you have anything to add to it?
I feel like when I watched the car take 8 minutes to run over 3 solid chairs, it definitely set my expectations super low. And as I was watching, I was like, okay, so this is going to be the entirety of this movie. And then he gets out and explains like how nothing has reason, which good for him for having an opinion or like a philosophy.
Well, it's not that nothing has reason. It's that film, there's stuff that happens in film that happens for no reason, just because.
To me, I feel like that's wrong. I feel like everything has reason, and that's just probably like based on my own outlook of life.
Well, I could agree with that, definitely. But film itself, movies themselves, there's so many times where there's no reason for something to happen on a movie, and it happens anyways.
I feel like the reason, if no other reason, would be for entertainment, or for like the director's own gratification.
But were you entertained?
If there's like you don't have to be. If the director liked it, he put it in there.
Well, there's a lot of directors out there that feel that way. I'm sure that's. I love that you brought that up, because I feel like that's a good thing to bring up, because he's like, if he did, I'm sure he didn't actually feel that way, but there are directors that do feel that way. Mm-hmm. So, flicking those types of directors in the ear, it's like a flick in the ear. It's like, hey, I know what you're doing, bitch.
Yeah. But I was like, okay. Just from a very like surface level standpoint, I was like, okay, this movie is going to have a lot of long drawn out scenes. I'm just going to have to watch it and expect absolutely nothing. And I think it pretty accurately set the standard.
Excellent. All right,
I like how it compared itself to movies like E.T. and The Pianist.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a humble brag right at the beginning of the movie.
I don't think it compared itself to those movies at all. I think it only compared itself to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where he actually says the great movie, the masterpiece that is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He pretty much shits on every one of those other movies. If you really think about it.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
He shits on E.T., he shits on The Pianist. He shits on several high-named directors. Guys that are considered
like Roman Polanski.
Well, let's not discuss him.
Oh boy.
Yeah. No. But I mean, everybody he brings up other than Tobe Hooper would be considered, huge names in cinema. And then you have Tobe Hooper, who's a huge name for a certain group of people. People that love horror films, people that have seen any of his other stuff. I mean, film junkies love Tobe Hooper more than they would love Roman Polanski or Steven Spielberg, in my opinion. I love way more Tobe Hooper movies than I give a shit about Steven Spielberg movies.
Yeah, he's kind of a washed up.
I'm not going to say that.
Steven Spielberg, you hack fraud, come on the podcast and apologize for what you did.
Apologize for AI, Steven. Do it.
I'm not trying to call out Steven Spielberg. There's no beef there. Shout out to Steven Spielberg.
No, there is beef there, Steven. You should have directed Jurassic Park 3, you jackass. I had to watch that shit because you had nothing to do with it, you dick.
Chris Pratt had some nice eyeliner though in that movie.
That was Jurassic World. I'm talking about Jurassic Park 3.
So this is getting cut, right?
No, this is going in. This is all going in. Fuck you, Steven Spielberg. I hope you see this. Come give me a kiss, you big bitch. Okay. Has everybody answered the cars and chairs question?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the no reason part has been discussed plenty too. Anything from the beginning that you guys want to discuss before we go on to another thing? Any notes? Anything you want to bring up that?
No, I mean, I got like one thing that's like relevant, but it's like throughout the whole film, so I guess I'll just insert it like wherever. So.
Okay. The music. How did you guys feel about the music? B, you want to go first?
It was good.
Other Jake will go first. Sorry, I had a little bit of a strong.
Oh, I already went
No, go ahead.
The music was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
B, you got anything to bring to the music?
So I'm not I don't like ever pay attention to music in any film. I feel like that's not like my forte, so I don't have any comments on it. It's not memorable for me.
Okay. How about you, Steven?
There were some, when I was watching it, there were sometimes I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. And now that, like, it's been a day since I've watched it, like, this is a question you should have hit me up with, like, immediately after the thing, because now I'm, like, trying to remember scenes and the music that went along with it. I'm like, head empty, no thoughts.
The music was very happy-go-lucky. Like, there was, like, a jazzy...
Yeah, it felt
thing.
very like Reservoir Dogs at that famous
a little bit,
ear-cutting scene.
But it's so funny because it's just like this stupid tire learning to be sentient with this pretty or silly music in the background for no reason.
This unlikable tire, yes. I will add.
Yes.
Yeah!
With no redeeming qualities whatsoever.
Yeah.
He killed a bunny, a crow, and then a turkey was murdered in this movie.
And
okay, we'll get to the turkey part. Don't bring up the turkey, and we'll get to that. I have a question for you guys about the turkey.
And then it peeped on that poor woman.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to
cancel
that part too.
Tire.
We'll get to that part too.
I want to cancel the tire.
Okay. All right. So the next question is, why would a tire need to sleep?
No reason.
There we go.
Possessed by a demon?
No
I would say
reason.
for the same reason that it needs to fucking eat and drink and
That's
shit.
another question. Why does Robert drink water? And how does Robert drink water?
For the same reason that it sleeps.
Puddle.
It's a full circle.
Okay. You got anything to add to that, Misty? Jake?
Yeah. I didn't know that he drank from that puddle. I thought he was just in it.
Like he was just, sticking his toes in.
He's just dipping his What if Jake's right and he was just dipping his toes in the water to see what it was?
Yeah, it's not like we really know.
And we think he was drinking water. That'd be funny.
I didn't hear any drinking noises, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, and the puddle didn't really get smaller as if. So who knows? Maybe it was just sticking its little booty cheeks in.
All right, on to the... okay, so the first kill was the rabbit, right?
Yeah. No, it was Scorpion.
I feel like the first kill was the glass bottle. And I know the glass bottle isn't alive, but I feel like that was like the turning point. That was when I felt like, oh, this tire is up to no good, and I don't trust it. It's when it destroyed the bottle for no reason.
Okay. The guy in the truck at the gas station.
Yeah, awful.
He had it coming.
What did you think? Did you think that his head was just going to explode right there? What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah,
literally, that exactly is what I thought was going to happen. And I will say, I will give this movie a compliment for at least giving me plenty of build-up before it executes anything. So it's like, I don't have to witness this terrible thing that's about to occur.
To be
Look
fair,
away until I hear crushed watermelon.
to be fair, I was kind of I was pretty disappointed. I thought that the tire was gonna walk up to the roll up to the gas station and obliterate the entire gas station.
I would have loved that, but I don't think they could have afforded it. This is not a very big budget movie, and the fact that they were able to do what they did with that tire, movement-wise and stuff, was pretty amazing.
Hey,
yeah,
they got the best. They got the best Thorn sibling in this film.
That was the next thing we're going to discuss.
Oh gosh.
Well, wait. I wanted to say something about the effects. I'm fairly certain that the crow and what was it, the rabbit? I think they actually killed a crow and a rabbit.
No, they did.
I don't want to think about that.
It barely looks real. You can see the cut where they switch.
I don't want to.
And they do make a very specific point of calling out, like, isn't the boy at some point like holding rabbit flesh, and he's like,
yes,
you see,
because
it's fake.
Oh, that's another thing we haven't discussed yet. Okay, so there's a group of people watching all of this happen through binoculars for no reason.
Yeah.
Like they're sitting and watching a movie.
Yeah.
which I thought was supposed to be like some like mockery of the audience watching this movie actually go on. And this is where I'm like, you could have done this a bit more tasteful. Like,
No,
I really feel that Quentin. I
Go
feel
ahead,
like
sorry.
Quentin Depew, like actively almost hates his audience to some degree, and I feel like he's just actively shitting on us.
I think
by like your audience are
Ryan
animals.
Johnson.
I agree with you. Don't bring him up. I agree with you to a certain extent, but I think the audience like me that loves this movie finds that nice. Like, we know what he's doing.
Yeah, you masochist.
He's shitting on us, but he's doing it with love. It's a love shit.
I'll shit on you with love.
Will you, please?
Those two teenage girls, they woke up from their little whatever they slept, I guess, at night. And the first thing they asked for was coffee and toast. I just thought that was a weird combination.
It's a weird combination, isn't it?
Like, who eats toast with their coffee? You gotta have some, like, eggs or bacon with that toast.
I'm sorry, I feel like that's normal.
Yeah.
Out in the desert? Like,
maybe not out in the desert. I think that's an awful combination for where they are, yes.
It
was definitely a weird request. It was a weird request for the people who were asking it, because I feel like two, like, preppy girls are not going to want coffee and toast unless it's Starbucks. I feel like they're gonna want, like, crepes or like muffins and like.
This podcast is not brought to you by Starbucks or anyone but me.
Hey,
fuck you, Starbucks.
but like, I feel like that was definitely out of place for the people asking and the environment in which they were asking.
Okay.
Like,
excellent.
Maybe it's not significant, but it definitely stood out to me.
I remember the two, like, white nerdy dudes. The dude who came out was kind of like a neckbeard and came out in, like, a proper, like, had a blazer on and stuff. I was like...
That's actually something I was going to bring up, was the two incel guys that are in the movie well before incel was a thing.
And I was like, oh, these two guys... Like, this is just every film critic ever. This is every...
Are you talking about the two guys who were talking during the movie and the guy was like, shut up?
Yeah, the fat guy and the ginger.
Okay.
Yeah. And
hey,
I honestly thought...
Ginger.
I was
can say ginger.
honestly,
I'm Irish.
the fat guy, I honestly thought for a moment, I was like, this is the filmmaker, isn't it? He totally strikes me as like... I went to a film college, and this is exactly the sort of shit that guy would make. Where it's like these highbrow concepts mixed with this LOL so random, lel I troll you face emoji.
This
humor.
was 2010, though, keep in mind. Far before that kind of got played out, I think.
I'm gonna look up Quentin. I want to see what this man looks like, because...
I'd imagine he's probably handsome.
Oh god, I don't know how to
I
spell.
feel like he plays World of Warcraft.
Wow, that hurts.
You know that show, Whitest Kids You Know?
Just kidding, I play Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh, no.
Raid, if you ever hear this, I do play Raid Shadow Legends, so, hit me up. Go ahead, Jake.
Oh, I was just going to say that the guy in the suit, for the longest time through the movie, I thought it was the same actor who did the slow jerk on Whitest Kids You Know. Because they look kind of similar, and I'm like, wait a second, that's not
The
him.
guy that's in the car next to the other guy and just going to Pound Town for no reason? Or that was a YouTube thing. That's not Whitest Kids You Know. Never mind. That was a different
No,
thing.
the one where they're in the office and like they do like the quick, jerk motion, just like as like a yeah, whatever, and then the other guy does it, but like really slowly and awkwardly.
Yeah.
And everyone's just weirded out by it.
Well, now that we've talked about rubber, let's talk about the whitest kids you know. No, I'm just kidding. We still got more to talk about rubber. Let's see. Who was surprised to see a Thorne sibling in the movie?
Boy, howdy. Count me in that group. Being like,
I had no idea.
You sad. He was in Rubber.
Wow. I'm gonna have to cut that out. Thank you, Steven.
Hey, shout out to MMA.
No, we are not shouting out MMA.
Also, oh my God, stop making me have to edit more of this. Okay, on to the next subject. Does anyone recognize the hotel they were at?
No, not at all. It
looked like it looked like the one. Do you remember, Steve? Do you remember Bad Times at El Royale? The hotel, like in between Nevada and like Arizona or wherever.
I think that hotel was nicer than this one.
You think so? It had the same. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just. It looked like the one from Devil's Rejects.
You are correct, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
It is the same hotel from Devil's Rejects and a bunch of other movies. It is a very well-known location for Hollywood films.
Ah, what other movies has it been in?
I didn't look it up. But I knew it was in Devil's Rejects. I remember, but I knew that. I knew that part. It's been in other horror films, I'm pretty sure. All right. Now on to the next subject of Robert being a perv.
Yeah, this just solidified him as, like, completely irredeemable.
So the killing of small animals didn't do it for you.
That put a really poor taste in my mouth to begin with.
Okay.
And I understand this was made prior to the Me Too climate. I mean, you go back and watch movies like American Pie or Animal House, they all have peeping in them, and it's really weird nowadays, I guess, but man, that was the cherry on top that was like, oh, this tire is not going to have any sort of an arc. It's just a bastard through and through.
Now let's discuss
I didn't.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I didn't take that as necessarily a bad, because like he's obviously a child, right? Like he was born.
No. Well, you're giving human emotion to it.
Well,
he's just
the way you have to give it human.
He's looking in. I don't think there's anything.
I would say it's more like a Frankenstein's monster compared to a child.
Yeah, just like I just mean childlike innocence. Like he's just like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna kill these animals. Like it's not like a right or wrong thing in his mind.
So when you were a kid, how many cats did you kill?
Well, I mean, I was taught immediately probably not to kill cats.
Probably.
Dogs.
But no, that's not the question I asked you. I said, how many cats did you kill as a child?
Yeah, Jake, how many corners of the serial killer triangle exactly do you fit? Were you a bedwetter?
I stepped on a mole once by mistake.
Wow. Guys, I didn't know we were talking to Ted Bundy 2.0. The hell, Matt?
Hey, I felt bad. I have emotion.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So here's another question pertaining to the Robert's a pervert thing. I have a couple more things to bring up. How do you think the actress felt if they said she had a dumpy ass? The people watching in the desert said she had a terrible ass and a banging set of breasts.
Mm-hmm.
Yet she had in my opinion, a nice ass and a smaller set of breasts, which is also fine. What did you take away from that?
I don't know. This is kind of a personal question.
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
I don't know.
You don't need to give me a personal answer.
Can we pass?
Yeah,
sure. Okay. How
Bianca,
did you feel?
are you more of a tit or an ass man?
Yes. Okay. Now you have to answer that question because he said it.
I think we all know.
Go on.
So Bianca's an ass man. How about you, Steven?
You know, I'm a total package sort of a guy.
All right, Jake.
He's a personality man.
Yeah, I'm Drake.
I don't know. I don't think it really matters. One or the other, or both, I guess.
Both.
I will say this, like, really hammered in that point where I'm like, oh, he thinks the audience are idiots. like we, the audience, I feel like this is the sort of thing that like frat bros would say in the privacy of their own home. And like anyone who calls them out and is like, hey, like, cut it out with your clearly misogynistic behavior, would just be like, oh, dumb bitch. What a bitch. Bitch.
All right, so to answer the question that I asked about whether I'm an ass or a tits man, I am a smile man.
Oh.
Proceeds to never smile again.
Ow. Ow. Okay, next question. Let's see, where were we? Did the bite guy fuck the turkey before or after he killed it?
What?
Did the bite guy fuck the turkey before or after he killed it?
¿Por qué no los dos?
Both times. He had to get the meat real tender to serve to his audience.
Oh, good God.
I saw no turkey sex scenes.
Yeah, they didn't have to show it. You just know a guy like that fucked the turkey. He's just hanging around in his boxers and a button-down t-shirt with a tie on, hanging around with a turkey in a hotel room.
Ew. Ew.
Whoa.
I never thought about it like that, and now I'm upset.
So he drugged and raped the turkey and fed it to people. Why?
All right, next subject.
Killer jizz.
Is his cum poisonous?
How did you feel about the turkey scene where they throw the turkey on the ground and everybody just goes crazy trying to eat it?
That's just absolutely vile. That was almost as bad as small animals exploding.
Honestly, so I was really excited when I saw that scene because I was like, finally, this movie is going to take a turn and discuss the meta of how audience just eats up whatever the fuck they're given because we're all stupid, you know?
That's an excellent takeaway from it.
But then it didn't. But then it disappointed me.
That makes sense.
But if you think about it, they were all poisoned by it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh
like
no, I ate that turkey.
Yeah.
Or it's like going to a shitty movie and going, oh, I watched that shitty movie. Oh, feel bad for me. I watched a shitty movie.
Yeah, exactly.
You feel bad for me. I did watch a shitty movie.
I don't feel bad at all. I'm glad I made you watch it.
It's your fault.
You're goddamn right it is.
I couldn't stop thinking about the actors and how they probably actually had to all eat that.
I mean,
like in real life?
I don't think anybody actually took real bites out of it. They just used their hands.
You think the people died in real life, and that's why they kept saying that's a body in that bag.
Yes.
Snuff film, I actually enjoyed a lot more.
Okay, let me see. What came after the turkey scene? Would it have been funnier if instead of just being poisoned and saying, ow, my tummy hurts, if they vomited and shit all over the place?
I would have turned off the movie if they vomit.
Did you think that was going to happen when they started saying they were sick?
Yes.
A little bit.
No, I absolutely thought so.
that?
I started closing my eyes.
Well, that's a common thing when you poison somebody in a horror film or a weird film like this. You're usually going to get some kind of gross out gag. Were you surprised that you didn't get the gross out gag from it?
I made her
Why
watch.
were they poisoned?
I made her watch 120 Days of Sodom.
I don't want to talk about that.
We have seen enough shit for a lifetime.
That is a movie we will not be discussing on podcast. I can assure you that.
I don't ever want to think about that movie in my life again.
All right, let's see. Well, we're 40 minutes in. We're pretty close to the end of the movie. Let's see. What else? Did you notice that Robert killed humans that were mean to him?
Yes.
He didn't kill the brunette French girl or whatever she was.
Well, that's just because he wanted to bang.
had a boner for her.
But he was not mean to the cleaning lady until she threw him outside and was mean to him.
You're absolutely right. He followed the brunette lady in her car. I don't know. I think he was about to kill the brunette lady in her car in the first scene, where she's introduced or whatever. But he got hit by the other car, and he killed that guy because he hit him with the car.
Right. But he had only ever killed somebody that had hurt him.
That hurt him.
Right, because after he kills the maid or whatever, or the housekeeper,
my dog.
He doesn't kill anybody else for a little while until he accidentally drowns himself in the swimming pool.
So he confirmed drowned himself. I kept going back and forth on that, being like, is he just vibing down there? Or...
I do. Good question. I don't know. But you notice when the Remy character, or Remy's character, pulls him up out of the water, he's gentle with him and just lays him down gently. And then the guy that runs the hotel throws him across the thing. And he kills him a little while after, and he's actually nice to Remy's character and just, like, doesn't kill him.
Yeah.
But what about the guy in the truck, the first guy he killed? What did
he hit him with his truck.
With his car.
Oh, that was the same guy? Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. That's why she flipped him off when she drove by him at the gas station.
Because he was driving recklessly.
Okay. That makes sense. It started off so random that I just started to think, oh, there's no reason for any of this.
Yeah.
So let's see. What were your thoughts when the cop started bringing up the fact that nothing's real and it's all fake and they can all go home and nobody else understood what he was talking about?
That was the highlight of the movie for me, was when he realized that it was still going on because the dude in the Brett Favre in the wheelchair was still watching. And he's like, oh crap, it is real, and if I die, I die. But that was, honestly, that was the high point of the whole movie for me, was we're doing something genuinely clever here. We're not pretending to be clever. We're not I'm going to be on topic here. We're not like a Bella Thorne song lyrics trying to be clever with our like 40 IQ. This was like genuinely like my aha moment where I was like, oh, I'm back into this now. This is cool.
And what did you think of the stuffed alligator?
Yeah, then it was just completely undercut with Bella Thorne lyrics.
I felt like it was a tribute to Florida, in Florida, real Florida life.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
I'm going to be honest with you. The part where he's just holding a stupid stuffed alligator was my favorite part of the movie. He's like, of course it's not real. You're standing there holding a stuffed alligator. Yeah? And?
Yeah, and?
I love that no matter how hard, like, you get so close to just complete genius with something in this movie, and then they do something so stupid on purpose to ruin that genius, and it makes it even more genius.
And that's where you and I split ways. You think that elevates it, and it just pissed me off.
All right.
Yeah, this definitely gave me Last Jedi flashbacks.
Don't bring that movie up. I don't want. Don't know. Okay. And the next thing is when she's sitting in the restaurant after they've decided to start going after Robert. The cops have. Actually, there's one more scene before that. When he pulls the tire off his car and says, "This is what we're looking for." What the fuck was that about? He couldn't. Why did he have to take the tire completely off? Why?
Oh, I thought that was funny. I thought they were just trying to be funny.
It was funny, but still, like, I guess there's no reason. Because there's no reason to do that.
Yeah, it's hard to discuss because it's like, well, they said in the beginning of the movie there's no reason for anything, basically. So it's like, what?
And that leads me into my next thing that actually angered me about this movie. When she's sitting in the restaurant and she's pouring her fucking orange juice on her food.
Oh, that was vile.
I'm just glad she didn't eat it. I was like, don't eat that.
I don't have an issue with that scene.
I do. That was disgusting. It was a waste of good orange juice.
I feel like I would do that.
I don't appreciate you wasting good orange juice, B.
Well, I feel like if I'm finished with the food, I'm just gonna just combine it all, make it easier for the waiter to come pick up.
It wouldn't be easier because now your plate is covered in orange juice.
I think it would be easier. And it also prevents other people from drinking like backwashed orange juice.
Oh, you're one of those people that's like, let me intentionally ruin what I'm not even going to consume so that other people don't have it.
Yes.
You absolute American.
It's like no,
You
it's
monster.
like okay, here's an example.
Wow.
You stay at a hotel, you use the bed in the hotel. You
And
only
then
use one of the
shit
sheets.
on the sheets.
Is that
No.
you burn the sheets?
Oh my god. And then you only use one of the sheets, right? You put the rest of the bed sheets on the floor so that the housekeeping staff doesn't leave them on the bed and leave them there for the next person.
Well, that's not how that works, though.
Yes, it is.
No, I've worked in hotels. I know that's not how it works.
And I've had an aunt who worked in hotels, and she said they absolutely do that.
That's terrible. I would never go to
Yeah.
that hotel.
Yeah, they have to change the sheets after every
Yeah,
guest,
you
like,
say that, but do you work at a hotel?
Okay.
it's the law.
getting away from the hotel part. Let's get back to the movie. All right, so the next one is, where did they get a van from
Oh, I didn't
at the
think
end of
like,
the movie?
I feel like if they're the police, it's part of the budget.
They're the
exactly-
police
I
in the
never
middle of
questioned that.
nowhere, and they have a reconnaissance van filled with like special equipment.
Honest to God, I just took that at face value. head empty.
I think that pointed to the fact that this was all a government operation to try to reanimate
Ooh.
tires, or not reanimate, but animate tires. And the test group was the audience, air quotes, and they
Do
killed
you
them off after they
think?
got the information.
Do you think that the audience that died from poisoning became the tires at the end of the movie?
No.
I don't care.
I don't.
This movie is not that smart.
Or is it? Or
No.
is it?
I
It is.
flat out reject.
I
It
reject
is
you.
not that
It is
intelligent.
the most intelligent movie I've ever watched in my entire life.
Oh my god, you need to watch more movies.
No, I've watched so many, B. So many.
But they prefaced it with saying, like, none of this is meant to make sense, so.
No, they didn't say none of it makes sense. They just said there's no reason. There's a very big difference between none of this has to make sense and there's no reason for any of this.
But without reason, then why live without reason?
You fucking nihilistic bitch.
Okay. Let's see. What did you guys think of the stuff the cop wrote down for the girl to read at the end of the movie?
Just this was like peak middle school dialogue for me.
It was so out of place all of a sudden
Yeah.
that it was just hilarious to me. She's like,
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
love
reading
where
this shit. Who wrote this?
Exactly.
And I feel like that was calling out, other movies that have lines like that. I felt like that was a shot across the bow of other fucking directors and shit. I feel like this director was just shitting on everyone as much as possible, and I loved every part of it.
Maybe I'm just not cultured enough. I did not see this alluding to other movies. I just saw it as like, maybe if I had seen another movie do something like that, I could appreciate it in that light, but
Maybe it's because you're not a huge horror fan.
I mean, I am of a certain type.
Which is you
Not
have to
this
see
type.
stuff that I've seen to understand. Yeah, you have to see much shittier movies to understand what I'm speaking about. Much shittier. And you will see a lot of much shittier movies soon.
Oh God, I can't wait.
Can already feel the cyst growing in my brain.
All right. Let's see. Is there anything else to speak of?
I
Do you
might have read-
think Robert the tire was watching NASCAR and getting aroused? Or was it only when he watched Human Women did he get aroused?
I'm still not sure there was anything sexual involved with that. I think he's just a curious little guy going around looking at stuff, you know.
I didn't see it as curious. I just thought, like, again, like, we're just doubling down on being unlikable. I was like, oh, this is just a lazy slob of a tire that wants to, like, sit in front of a television all day, watch women shower, and kill anything that comes in its path.
Hey, shout out to NASCAR.
All right. Okay, and the end of the movie, because we're pretty close in timing on the podcast. Why do you think he finally just went in there and shotgun blasted Robert instead of doing that from the beginning?
No reason.
Thank you.
I did appreciate when Brett Favre shows up and is just like, get on with it.
Yes. Yes.
That was a good bit.
Here's another question for you pertaining to the end. Why do you think when Robert was killed and became a tricycle that his explosion was much more powerful and just obliterated Brett Favre and the wheelchair?
Because that's just what those movies do.
Was it an allegory for the second coming of Jesus?
He's got three eyes.
I hate you.
He's brainwashing us.
But you know what?
He came back and then he got followers.
B and I had this same thought. We discussed it as we were watching the movie together. Is like, if you rolled credits right when Brett Favre explodes, perfect ending. It goes like 5 minutes too long where it's like, wait, now you're like not consistent. You're breaking the veil that like the movie keeps going because Brett Favre is watching. But now he's dead and it just keeps going a little bit longer. And I was like, wait a minute. This just undoes what you've been doing.
For no reason.
Oh, you bitch.
And thank you, everybody, for coming by and listening to the podcast. That's the end of this episode. Hopefully next episode will be out not too long from now. We'll figure that out. It's getting close to Thanksgiving, so we'll probably do the Thanksgiving movies. And maybe even have some other guests with us.
Like Remy Thorne?
No, he will not be joining us, ever.
Shouts out to OnlyFans.
Oh my god. All right, so if you're wondering what's been edited out of this podcast, it's nothing, because I'm not going to do that because I'm lazy as fuck. But thank you guys for coming and having the conversation with me. Thank you for finally, after 4 years of me begging you guys to watch this movie, watching this movie.
It was way overhyped.
Jake, you can go fuck yourself. Thank you, B, for doing it and being a good sport, even though I knew you would absolutely hate this movie, and I really appreciate you watching it for me.
Of course.
Steven, I'm surprised that you didn't love it, considering the shit you normally watch. One person that wasn't here this time, which is my brother, younger Jake, he loved the movie as much as I do. I just want to point that out. He wasn't able to make it this time because he was sick, but hopefully he'll be around next time for Thanksgiving. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next time on the Battmannister-cast. Bye-bye.